Come with me as we go for a mushroom identification and forage walk. Here is our first mushroom of the day. At least I believe. I'm not going to pick it as this is young, but I believe it is Omphidius subrosius, the rosy slime spike. You know it by the viscid cap. I believe if I aim to pull this out, it'll be yellow on kind of the base of the stipe there. Again, right here on the side of the trail, we actually have a Rusla zelleri, and it's definitely in that group. There's 3 of them that it could be. You can't even really tell at the microscopic level with these. It also doesn't matter, they're not going to be edible, not something I'm going to be taking away from here, but very cool find how big it is. So again, just round the side of the trail there. And here, this actually looks like a chanterelle from the top, but as you'll see here, all the gills come to one distinct spot. You know that is not going to be a chanterelle. They're actually more like veins and all end at different spots. So yeah, this is actually a false chanterelle, or Hygrophorhopsis auraticulata. I definitely am not saying that correct. It's a difficult word. But yes, false chanterelle, you don't want to eat that. Here we actually have Rusla brevipes. I know it because it's kind of growing under the soil there. It's also just a short-footed Rusla. Nothing special about these when they are what they are, but they can actually be taken over by a different mycelium, a parasitic mycelium that turns it into a lobster mushroom. You're actually going to see right here, I believe that this mushroom was going through that change. That is what those orange spots are, is it actually turning into Hypomyces lactiflorum, which is the lobster mushroom. It's one of my favorite mushrooms to eat. Here you'll see what really looks kind of like a witch's cap, and this is a Cortinarius mushroom. It is just in the Cortinarius species, nothing more specific. There's a lot of work that the experts still need to do for the Cortinarius species, but yeah, really interesting mushroom here. Again, kind of looks like a witch's cap, very viscid and wet on that as well. It is not going to be edible. No Cortinarius is really edible, but they are some of the coolest mushrooms you're going to find out in the woods. Oh, and very cool here we have a Helvella maculata. Again, not going to be edible here, but very distinct Helvella. You're going to know that right away, just based on what the cap looks like. And then I know this actually is maculata because of the brown color of the cap there. Here you're going to see there's actually a little slug eating on this mushroom here, so I'm going to leave that one alone. Probably another Cortinarius there, but really to the coolest find of the day, a beautiful Amanita muscaria. This is the famous Mario mushroom, really one of the most known mushrooms in the world. I do not recommend eating it, though they say if you boil it twice, then you can remove all of the toxic traits. What's really cool is this is actually a baby one right here. It doesn't look red, it actually looks a little yellow, so it could be Jamata. But you'll see right here we actually have several Amanitas coming up. There is a muscaria that is this yellow color, and with this being so close, I'm going to just keep identifying this as Amanita muscaria instead of apricata or Jamata. Again, it could be. There's a lot more work that needs to go in with these Amanitas, but very cool species. It is not Pantheranoides. I would not recommend eating these at all. Again, you could double boil them if you'd like, but again, it's not something I recommend. It's not something I have ever done. But very cool find, very awesome mushrooms. Thank you for coming along on this mushroom identification and forage.